Lady C reveals King Charles's intentions in contesting custody of Harry's children. Hello, friends. Welcome to breaking royal news about the notorious hypocritical couple, Harry and Meghan Markle, on our Royal Trust channel. Lady C's latest update on Harry and Meghan. I have some interesting news. The king has been taking soundings in Parliament. I will not specify which house because I must protect my sources, so I will be mysterious. The king has been taking soundings about the custody of the children in the event of a divorce. I was told that the relationship between Meghan and Harry is dire. It is inevitable the relationship will collapse. Evidently, Harry began to see past the mask when Meghan insisted Harry delay the release of Spare to 2 weeks before the coronation. Harry, to his credit, said absolutely not. He refused. I am not asking for a free pass for Harry for all that he has done, but in the interest of fairness, Harry is not the same as Meghan. I think Harry will begin to experience regret, and perhaps already is. Can you imagine the impact it would have had 2 weeks before the coronation? The business of the Taliban, his accusations regarding his family leaking to the press, his assertion he wanted to harm his father? For legal reasons, I must point out this is what I was told. I regard this as credible for 2 reasons. 1, because my sources are very good too. Because of Meghan's conduct since she entered the royal family. I know so much about Meghan and how she has treated people, including her family, but I am not at liberty to say. There were other difficulties that impacted the marriage. In addition to Meghan's malignancy with coinciding the release of Harry's book with the coronation, I can report what friends of friends have said. The filming that was done in Queen Mary's house and shown on Netflix was not done with the consent of Princess Eugenie, who has the responsibility of Queen Mary's house. She was very embarrassed that Harry and Meghan released this footage on Netflix. Eugenie and Jack were not on speaking terms with Harry and Meghan for a period of time. I do not know how true this is, but I am only relaying what I was told. Eugenie was mortified and no longer trusts Harry and Meghan. It would appear these stories of Harry calling in the lawyers and the marriage being in trouble were not pie in the sky. It sounds like it is only a matter of when, not if. And the mere fact that the king is taking soundings from Parliament is telling. You see, there are all matters of state regarding the custody of the children. There are political reasons also. The king cannot be seen to be taking 2 children from their mother, especially when she is American-born. No matter how crass and ghastly a person is, once they marry into your family, you will do everything possible to cover up their dreadfulness. The royal family will do everything possible to maintain dignity. There is more to come. All I can say is good luck to the king. Good luck to everybody concerned. If the marriage collapses, I hope they all maintain a modicum of dignity. It started out with the appearance of dignity, but within a matter of days after the wedding, we were told something that Meghan did that was so horrifying we couldn't believe it. We were told that Meghan was trouble brewing, and has it not brewed? All this is very interesting, especially the bit about Meghan wanting to have Spare hit the bookstores 2 weeks before the coronation. Absolutely spiteful and hateful on her part. At least Harry had the sense to say no to that. I wish he'd had the good sense to not write the book. Besides, I do think the divorce is coming, but the timing is not clear. I just wonder what Meghan did a matter of days after the wedding that was so horrifying. Things went downhill fast right after that garden party. There has to be more to it other than, I'm bored, let's leave. It was on camera they got escorted out. She was basically throwing a temper tantrum to Harry that she was bored and wanted to leave. When he said we have to stay, she got all moody or something, and the staff escorted them out. She broke a ton of rules at that first garden party, if I remember. It was her first working event after they paid $32 million for her wedding and got escorted out. Not a good start for sure. Well, she screamed at the staff about food. She threw a tantrum because she couldn't get the tiara she wanted. She didn't want George and Charlotte at her wedding party, then bullied Charlotte. The royal family had more than enough reasons to throw her out of the UK long before the wedding. I remembered something with the gifts, like an aide awkwardly had to take it from her when they were being escorted out. You know how, like when you're a fish out of water, you just try your best and not muck it up too bad. It's like she didn't even show up to try or even phone it in. It came across as she didn't even try to hide her disdain for being a working royal. As soon as the wedding was done, she started popping off. One insider frankly said, "Wouldn't the question of titles be the most likely reason that King Charles is consulting Parliament? Not custody, which I can't imagine he'd want to get involved in. I've been saying on here for a while that I believe Charles has letters patent all ready to go to remove the children's titles. Just waiting for the right moment to use them. Separation and divorce would be the right time. This would be done in line with Charles's desire for a slimmed-down monarchy and what was decided at the Way Ahead Conference by senior royals way back in the 90s. Though Meghan is bound to make it personal and all about her, I think what King Charles III will do is give Meghan a choice of two completely undesirable, for her, outcomes in the event of a divorce. The kids move back to the UK with Harry under his and the British royal family's supervision. She will be given accommodation and transport to the UK X number of times per year to see them. The kids stay in the USA with her, but child support will be calculated on Harry's income alone, which is nothing. They will have their titles and places in the line of succession removed. She will lose her HRH on divorce, just like what happened to dear old Diana. Call it the ultimate cosplay, if you will. Custody issues are well and good and absolutely need to be determined, but the questions around the births must be cleared up and aired for once and for all. The lack of medical signatures on the boy's birth certificate and the total weirdness around the girl need to be explained, especially to the people of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, and especially if there is a divorce. Basically finding out what will happen if this or that thing were to happen. Speculation, but in this case with an especially careful look at scrutiny of laws and regulations, Wirt the royal family. One possible thing. The Markle children are in the line of succession, yet they are not living in Britain and will likely not be educated in Britain either. It would be unconscionable if either of them, or their descendants, were ever to be in the real position of actually taking the throne. They may currently have dual citizenship, but their mother is American by birth and nationality. She wasn't in Britain long enough to be able to qualify for citizenship. So questions need to be asked, and existing rules need to be investigated and scrutinized to find out if King Charles III should need to issue a letter patent writ this, and also how it could be done without kicking up a stink and raising even more claims of racism. Another possible thing is, if Harry and Meghan were to divorce, then what? Joint or equal custody of children would be a reasonable outcome for most parents. But would that extend to these grandchildren of King Charles III crossing the Atlantic in either direction for 6 months each year? Where would it be best for those children to be educated if Hairless were to return to Britain, or even to take an extended stay in one of his favorite African countries? The rumor has been running since 2021, when the girl was born. There were strong attempts by a certain parliamentary sector to demand that Harry appear to give explanations about so much secrecy regarding the children. A parliamentarian argued that year that it was absurd that it was not known in which hospital the girl was born. There are quite a few parliamentarians upset that children who did not follow the corresponding protocol are in the line of succession. One parliamentarian even tried to make a motion to remove the Harkles, Harry and children, from Lois because everything was irregular. You can look that up in the Express, along with the rumor about the change in the Council of State and the addition of Edward. I think Charles has done those polls, and it's Edward Young who does them on his behalf. Young was the lead in initiating them to block Harry and Andrew from the Council of State. But that doesn't change my opinion about the fact that Charles isn't going to reinstate Harry as a member of the firm. Divorced or not, Harry betrayed the entire family. And while the situation of the Sussex children may be at issue in all of this, that doesn't mean that Charles is going to support Harry or those children, let alone that Charles is going to pay $80 million to Meghan. That's not going to happen. And that's not going to happen because there's the fact that Harry can't be trusted. Maybe Harry can be tired of Meghan. Maybe things don't work out well in that marriage. But didn't we just watch a video of the two of them together to put an end to the divorce rumors? So, Harry is not going to budge. He doesn't want to get divorced. Getting divorced means for him to admit that he made a serious mistake. Getting divorced means Harry having to humiliate himself before the whole family, having to humiliate himself before William, whom he wanted to sink by accusing him of being unfaithful. It is understood? Harry can't get a divorce without it meaning years of being locked up in nothingness, inferior even to Andrew. That Harry is not going to accept it. He will cheat on Meghan, and Meghan will have lovers, but they will not get divorced. One commenter: Harry would be humiliated in front of the Commonwealth and the UK, and he's not going to do that because his arrogance and entitlement run deep. He may divorce Meghan, but I can't see him returning to England, especially with the children. Archie will be starting elementary school, and at this point, I personally think he's too American to be happy in a British school. As far as Harry being too proud to return to the UK, I tend to agree. However, about Archie going to school in the UK, I disagree that he is too American already to make the transition to UK schooling. Put him in a classroom with a bunch of British kids, and at the end of the year, he will be talking like them. Give him another year, and unless they reject him, he will count himself one of them. Academically, early childhood educational goals are very similar on both sides of the Atlantic, and the cultural stuff, like the national anthem, the bits of history that are covered in the early years, etc., are easily picked up. Now, if they wait until Archie is 8 or 9 years old, switching from a California school to a UK one would be difficult. But at 4, 5, or 6, it would work just fine. An American revealed, California is a no-fault divorce state, meaning whoever files don't have to come up with terrifying reasons for a divorce. As to the children, there may need to be a professional assessment as to their welfare with their mother and how much access will be afforded to the father. In prior years, women had a tremendous edge in gaining full custody. That has changed, and the courts are much more likely to give consideration to both parents. While I don't know British law, it's conceivable that King Charles III took the easy route in allowing the children to remain in the line of succession. Many of us don't even know if the children were naturally born of Meghan. I understand that either Archie or Lily's ascendance to the throne of England is quite a long stretch. However, it's still a present threat to the monarchy if anything happened to the children of the Prince and Princess of Wales. It's that which should be discussed between the Parliament and King Charles III. I hope Lady C isn't signaling that those children won't be admitted to the royal family unless they can prove these children were not born of surrogates. If King Charles III is looking for a way to allow them to be in the line of succession, then he'd better have proof. Otherwise, I'm done. They can't support, financially, 2 children that aren't legit. Taxpayers can't support that scenario. Do you think in the event of a divorce, the children will conveniently stay with Meghan? If this happened, they could stay out of sight, and the con of the century will quietly recede. That would be a way out, I suppose. How about you? Are you ready for the royal family to come clean about this? I certainly am. I think the royal family was duped and are looking for a way out. Given her horrendous reputation, they could find a way to keep the 2 inches children from being off the line of succession. They have to come clean, or else appear to be as bad as Meghan. Make Harry explain the deceit. Otherwise, I think the risk of telling the truth is better than continuing the big lie. I think the royal family would come out better for telling the truth. There are already reams of evidence pointing to the dishonesty of these children. I also learned today that Buckingham Palace has been demanding the paperwork and DNA testing for some time now. Meghan is adamant about turning this information over. Why? Because there's something to hide. I'm beyond sick of the duplicity, and I hope this ends. Have you seen the 2014 interview with Meghan and John Fitzpatrick, who was an advisor to Bill and Hillary Clinton? Yes, I have seen it. It is extremely telling. People have speculated she is a plant. My opinion based on my sources and knowledge is this. Meghan is an operator, a hustler, she is hyper-ambitious, but I think she is a lone wolf. She attaches herself to well-known people and then spins herself to look like they have chosen her. She used John Fitzpatrick to meet Bill and Hillary Clinton. The interview reads like Meghan knew Hillary Clinton was running for president. I do not think Meghan has a handler, although I know she has been handled in other ways, exclusively. I suspect that Meghan will not be transformed in the political realm. I could be wrong. I cannot tell you how I reach my conclusions, but I can tell you I have investigated this extensively. It is not feasible to have a member of the royal family in a U.S. political office. Both U.S. political parties know this. Meghan's sense of self-importance is so high, she thinks that because she wants something, she will get it. There are times when no matter how much you want something, it is impossible to get it. Don't give Meghan more credit than she deserves. She is very good and taking your words and using them as her own. What do you make of Valerie Owens' endorsement of Meghan for president? She is tied with Kamala Harris in the polls. And what do you think of Scabies stepping down as royal editor for Yahoo? Valerie Owens is the sister of Jill Biden. She is a political activist. This reminds me of the time you are at the diner and someone at your table causes a scene and you have to save face. This is what Valerie Owens is doing for Meghan. The Bidens are firmly aligned with King Charles and the Prince of Wales, so Valerie offers this comment to help Meghan save face from the embarrassment of being denied access to the Bidens and Air Force One. Being tied with Kamala Harris for anything is not good. It is well known the Democrats want her off the ticket next election. As for Scabies, I have it on good authority he was given the same treatment that Meghan did at Spotify. The bottom line is that the Prince of Wales made it known he doesn't even want to be on the same planet as Scabies. And Yahoo realized that Scabies was so biased in favor of Meghan and Harry, and so anti-William and Catherine, that their credibility as a news source was in question. What do you think of Lady C's analysis of Meghan Markle? Let us know your thoughts below in the comments section. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this newsletter. See you in the next videos. Goodbye.